I got together with Sandy when I was 18, so she used to be totally compliant with me. Whenever I mentioned breaking up, she'd throw a fit and threaten to harm herself. Then in our 7th year, Sandy finally got tired. Absolutely tired. Now she's gone from being a naive girl to someone in charge. She chats with her girlfriends confidently. People outside say your little boyfriend is just a petty troublemaker. Sandy didn't get mad but turned it around, saying I was indeed beneath her. I'm the type who ignores stuff. I walked in with our 7-year anniversary cake, smiling and asking her, "Got any wishes?" Half jokingly, she says, "I wish to leave you forever. Blow out the candles. Once you do, I'll help you make that wish come true." I opened the door. Never thought we couldn't even spend this anniversary alone. 'Cause Sandy found me annoying. She can't stand it when it's just the two of us. Didn't expect so many people to show up. Most were in suits and fancy dresses, carrying themselves with grace. The room was full of women in elegant gowns and men impeccably dressed. And me wearing a washed-out old jacket. When I left the house, I thought I looked sharp. But put next to them, I stood out like a sore thumb. Even my attempts to dress up seemed laughable. I stood there with a cake that looked kinda cheap, crouching next to Sandy. Those who were bad-mouthing me earlier were now awkwardly quiet. I acted deaf, smiling at Sandy. "What were y'all talking about? Seems like you had fun." Sandy knows I'm good at pretending. But she didn't even bother with a nice word. You wouldn't get it. Holding the cake tray, my fingers gripped tightly. 7 years ago, Sandy was just a poor girl. Together, we couldn't scrape up $7 between us. We'd share a single bowl of noodles. Sandy was ambitious. She quickly became a big shot around here. Who would have guessed the current business hotshot couldn't afford a bowl of noodles back then? We used to talk about everything. Now it's just one line. "You don't get our world." With my nod, Sandy placed the candles. Deliberately or not, she put them in the wrong way. I lit the candle with my lighter, but for some reason, it wouldn't catch. Some folks told me to get a new one. Stubborn as ever, I tried to ignite it, insisting on that candle. "Make a wish?" Sandy lazily sat up, our eyes met. I caught a coldness in her gaze. "I wish I could be rid of you for good." The festive room turned frosty all of a sudden. Everyone awkwardly tried to smooth things over. Sandy drank too much. Yeah, she's quite tipsy. Don't take it to heart." Holding the cake, I urged her to blow out the candle. I knew she hadn't drunk too much. I could see right through it. "Blow the candle out. After this, I'll make your wish come true." When the candle went out, I set the cake down and was about to leave. But Sandy grabbed my hand. No one dared to speak. The room was tense. They were all wary of Sandy doing something unexpected. Yet she simply pulled out a ring box. "I've got a gift for you too." Finally, cheers erupted around us. The music shifted into a melody. In German. I couldn't understand a lick of it, but they sang along flawlessly, talking about the love story it told. What they were saying, I didn't get at all. I didn't even get their jokes. As they bantered on, I wanted to find a corner to hide. Sandy slipped a diamond ring onto my finger. Her eyes, previously so cold, now surged with emotion. Looking at me passionately, Sandy said something that got everyone cheering, and streamers rained down. No clue what was going on. I looked up. Every eye was on me, clapping and expecting. "Say yes. Marry Sandy." Sandy smiled softly. "Oh, I forgot you don't speak German. Let me say it again. Let's get married." Suddenly, her smile didn't seem so appealing. Felt like needles poking at my heart. I couldn't tell anymore if this was a proposal or a deliberate humiliation. This scene suffocated me. I dashed out the door. Behind me echoed their laughter. Nick's embarrassed. The same age, but Ken's way more composed. Ken. He's Sandy's new assistant. I ran, frantically bumping into someone. I fell backward, landing awkwardly on a stack of beer crates. "Watch where you're going." "Ken, you okay?" I looked up and saw Ken, and he saw me. "Nick." Ken offered a hand. I wanted to reach out, but my hands were covered with dirt. Didn't know how to grasp that clean hand at all. What happened? Sandy came out from the room, drawn by the noise. In front of everyone, I awkwardly crawled up from the crates. Sorry, Sandy. I was too hasty coming over. Accidentally bumped into Nick. Didn't want to lose face for Sandy in front of everyone. Barely standing, I realized I sprained my ankle. If not for the wall, I'd have toppled over again. One mishap after another. Didn't know how I could lift my head. Nick, you okay? I'll take you to the hospital. No need. My sudden outburst puzzled Ken. Then came that deep voice from behind. Ignore him. He spent years toughening up out there. Been through worse without a peep. Ain't fragile. Hearing this, I didn't feel much. It was true. Then the next line came. You all right? I turned to answer her. But Sandy's gaze was on Ken. She was worried about Ken. I grabbed my jacket and limped out. Move aside. Pushing past folks blocking my way. My right foot swollen like two stumps. Sandy's words land one by one, stabbing right into my heart. Raised in the countryside. Doesn't know the etiquette. He's just naive, don't hold it against him. I really didn't want to hear any more. I left, gasping for air. I've only met Ken twice. This was the second. We're the same age, but he looks handsome, mature, with an aura of elegance. And me? Around them, I'm like some petty street thug. Even my clothes seem totally out of place. Sandy's bought me those kinds of clothes several times. She thinks I won't wear them. What she doesn't know is, when she's not around, I've tried them on again and again. Same style, same material, even the same size. But on me, they just look cheap. I ended up tearing those clothes to pieces, and Sandy just said, "When will you grow up? Stop messing around, I really don't have the time. Forget it, if you don't want to wear them, I won't buy them again." I swallowed my explanation back down. I looked at the ring in my hand and slowly started to twist it off. Sandy's tired of this life. And so am I. This time, let's just let each other go. I wish her all the best. From now on, she's free from me. After leaving, I went straight home. My mom's getting older, her hair has some gray now. She was so happy to see me she dropped the wash basin. Son's back. Mom. She's getting older, and her only wish is for me to get married. She asks every time I visit. This time was no exception. Not planning to marry Sandy yet? It's your year next year, if not this year then it'll have to be the year after. My mom rubbed her dried, cracked hands. Years of housework have left them calloused and worn. Unknowingly, my parents' faces have filled with wrinkles. They know Sandy's no longer that poor girl she used to be. The gap between us now keeps them from daring to mention marriage. Sandy used to visit us often, but hasn't since her company got up and running. Might be that she's busy, or thinks there's no need to keep pleasing my parents. Thinking about how I've been a mess these past few years, I looked up and mustered my courage. Getting married next month. Really? Yeah. That's fantastic. So great. I didn't want them asking more questions, so after dinner, I headed out. It was drizzling, and suddenly, I heard a loud bang in the alley. Two men bolted away, heading across the street. Damn you, if I catch you here again, I'll break your legs. A girl's voice sounded out. Hey there, didn't scare you, did I? Nick. Nick? It was Lillian, an old friend I used to hang with. Lillian, long time no see. Got a boyfriend yet? Lillian scratched her head and chuckled awkwardly. Nah, my family's on my case, but my circumstances aren't great. Who'd really look at me? Lillian rubbed her hands, glanced back at her friends, and suddenly got serious. Say hi to Nick. Hey, Nick. Each of them was in tattered clothes, 5 or 6 of them sharing one dirty umbrella. Some looked not even 20, thin as sticks. Hungry? Let me treat you to some food. I remember there's an old Michael's wonton place nearby. No, Lillian almost rejected it instinctively, but seeing the hopeful eyes of her friends, she agreed. Yeah, old Michael's wonton, still the old price, comes with an egg. I led the way down a familiar path. Lillian helped steady me as I walked. What's up with your foot? I shook my head. It's close, I'm good. She scratched her head but insisted. We soon arrived, and they sat down, looking nervously my way. Order whatever, eat up. At my words, they eagerly began to order. All except Lillian, who still sat across from me, prim and proper. Isn't this a bit much? Someone behind us piped up. Lillian, Nick's with Sandy, he's not tight on cash. Yeah, Sandy's a billionaire boss now. Lillian seemed embarrassed, ordering just one bowl of wonton. I almost forgot about all that. How's it been with Sandy these years? Still good? I didn't reply. She just kept eating. You guys are probably getting married soon? The rain kept coming down outside as I rested my chin on my hand, watching the raindrops hit the eaves. Been 7 years together. Lillian, were you serious about what you said before? She coughed a few times, perhaps from the hot wonton, urgently wiping her mouth. And no kidding. I stared dazedly at her. My gaze may be too intense. She wavered and changed her tone. Honestly, pretty serious, just bad timing. Would you still want me now? Lillian focused on her food, trying to avoid my eyes. You're joking. You and Sandy are? Her words trailed off, eyes lifting with complexity. When are you getting married? Next month. Lillian stirred her empty bowl. Serious? Serious. Got a date? Not yet. Lillian quickly asked, how about the 3rd? It's a good day. Sure. Her friends gave me weird looks. A Rolls-Royce pulled up smoothly by the curb. The door opened and Sandy was sitting in the back seat. She squinted toward the wonton shop, lost in thought. Sandy gestured for me to come over. I hobbled toward her. That's when she noticed my swollen foot. What happened? You really don't remember much. She was used to my docile behavior, so my words surprised and annoyed her. You're mine after all. Stay away from those people when you're out. I know the ones she looks down on the most are Lillian and her friends. 7 years ago, they were still sitting at the same table, begging for food. The world turns every 30 years. That's no lie. They're my friends. I got in the car and didn't wait for her to speak before I continued. Ever since you've been doing well, you haven't come back to town. You haven't visited my parents either. Is it because you don't have the time? Or because you're scared to face your past struggles? Sandy, you can't go back to the old days. But you did come from humble beginnings. Do you think none of these people are worthy of even tying your shoes, including me? Sandy was stunned. I've played nice for so long, but this was the first time I said something to upset her. Nick, you've really grown a backbone, huh? Sandy clenched her fists tight, trying to suppress her anger. But I wasn't going to let her have her way. You're here now, don't you want to see the place you used to live? These people you look down on, they used to be you. But you're not like them, they're at least straightforward, not cowardly. And you're the biggest faker of all. Since rising to the top, everyone around Sandy has been nice to her. No one ever contradicts her. As she stood there, veins throbbing on her forehead, she spat out the word through gritted teeth. Get out. She tossed me out of the car. Come back when you realize you're wrong. I've got better things to do than your nonsense. Sandy massaged her temples as her assistant tried to calm her down. Sandy, don't worry. Nick will cave by tonight. He better not come back. Yeah, I always give in to Sandy's temper. But this time, her plan isn't going to work. At the wonton stand, a few people watched the scene unfold. Was that Sandy? Why didn't Sandy stop by to see us? Her look was kind of scary. I didn't dare say hi. How is she scary? It's more like she's looking at people that don't matter. Lillian, are you really going to marry Nick? They were clearly arguing. You know couples fight and make up. By tomorrow, Sandy might be cuddling up to Nick, and then you'll be out of the picture. Right, Lillian, why bother? You've heard it over the years, Nick is crazy about Sandy. Always humbling himself to please her. Better not get involved. I couldn't really hear what they were talking about. When I turned back, they were all giving me these goofy smiles. I hailed a cab, and as I was getting in, Lillian called out to me. Nick! I turned around, and she shouted with her hands cupped around her mouth. Don't forget our promise. Okay. Back home, I slept a whole day and night. When I woke up and checked my phone, not a single message. In the afternoon, my phone kept buzzing. I thought it was the wedding planner, but it turned out to be Sandy's chief assistant, Ken. Ken. Nick, Sandy drank too much at her meeting today. Can you pick her up? Or should I take Sandy home myself? Before I could reply, Ken sent his address. I didn't respond. By the time I got back, there was a car parked outside, a car I didn't recognize. I could clearly see Sandy in the passenger seat, looking a bit lost as she gazed at Ken. Now that she's in a position of power, she can look people straight in the eye. Just a look and they'd usually fall apart. I watched her start to get emotional and try to keep it together, brushing Ken's hair away from his ear. But her eyes never left his lips. I really envy Ken, he's got things all figured out. He was eager, but just before she could have her way, he got out of the car. Nick, you didn't come, so I took the liberty of bringing Sandy back. Ken helped Sandy out and pushed her toward me. Don't worry, Nick. Even though Sandy drank a lot, I brought her home safe and sound. I suspected he meant something else, but his smile seemed too genuine. I didn't want to dwell on it. Thanks. I helped Sandy inside, noticing her eyes still lingering on him. Her restless motions just made it harder for me to stay balanced. Pain almost made me let her go. Ken hurried over and helped. Sandy. Nick, let me help you. I wasn't sure if Sandy was really drunk. Her hand clutched Ken's hand tight. Ken fiddled with the wedding ring on Sandy's finger. Maybe a reminder or maybe stepping out of line. I didn't want to deal with their exchanging glances, so I called for the housekeeper. Auntie, the housekeeper, helped me get Sandy upstairs. I stayed downstairs, tending to my ankle with some ointment. I relaxed for a while before heading up. At the landing, I bumped into Ken coming down. Nick, I'm off then. He casually greeted me, but I didn't respond. Back in the bedroom, I thought she'd be asleep, but she was sitting up, eyes filled with guilt. Her first words were, Nick, I want to get married. With who? With me? She lifted her eyes, her sharp gaze landed on me. For someone so proud to swallow their pride, that person was definitely not me. Sandy didn't want to talk anymore. She turned away, lying on her side. Sandy, let's break up. In an instant, her eyes shot open. Break up? Sandy sat up. The lamp by the bed cast shadows on her face, revealing nothing of her mood. Her slight smirk seemed to mock my inadequacy. Really, you've got guts now, trying a new approach? I'm not you. I don't have the patience. Every time Sandy wanted to end it, I'd fight and protest. Hearing me say it now, she was thoroughly surprised. Fine. Sandy was rummaging around the bedside table. A wad of cash landed on me. Don't you dare regret it later and say you made a mistake. Take the money and get out. Get out. When I didn't move, Sandy sat in front of me with checks worth millions. Kept asking, is it enough? Is it enough? Sandy crumpled the checks and shoved them into my hand, then pushed me out the door. The door slammed shut, and I could hear Sandy laughing inside. The housekeeper looked upstairs, worried. Nick, the company's projects are unstable. Miss Sandy has been under a lot of pressure. Maybe you should just let it go for now. Or wait till tomorrow when she's sober and talk it out. I shook my head and took out a hotel card. I'm getting married the day after tomorrow. Please come and join the wedding. The housekeeper held the card, speechless. I tossed all of Sandy's checks on the sofa. It's not an act. She gave me checks, but I wouldn't even know how to cash them. After leaving Sandy's house, just as I stepped out, I saw that familiar car. Nick, did something happen? I just got home, and Sandy told me to come over. Do you know what it's about? Before I could speak, a cold voice called from afar. Ken. I turned around, and Sandy was on the balcony, holding a glass of wine. Ken didn't go up immediately. Instead, he showed me his phone. This is the wedding theme designed by someone Sandy hired. Which one do you like, Nick? In his chat with the designer, there were all these elaborate wedding themes. He accidentally tapped on a voice message playfully. Sandy's boyfriend isn't just some lazy bum, is he? Sandy's going through all this, but can that punk even understand? My designs aren't exactly for beginners. Designing for a punk is kind of degrading, no? But if it's for you and Sandy, I'd gladly do it. Ken panicked and quickly turned off the message. But I heard what I wasn't supposed to. Nick, I'm sorry. I messed up. That designer was specially hired by Sandy from abroad. He's a bit eccentric, but really good at what he does. No need to explain he wasn't wrong. The designs are indeed beautiful. With all those fancy fonts, I can't even tell which country they're from. No idea what each theme represents. Just red, blue, and light purple to me. I ignored Ken and took a side road home. The house was buzzing with joy. My home and Lillian's were just a street apart. Whatever Lillian told my parents, they seemed really fond of her. Both looked genuinely happy. My dad even pulled out a shirt from the closet that he had been saving for a long time. It hadn't been worn in so long that there were still creases in it. According to tradition, before the wedding, we needed to host a banquet for 3 days. Around the third day, I came back with some wedding candies. I walked in, smiling, only to see a stern face. Sandy grabbed my wrist, and the candies spilled everywhere. Letting go of Sandy's man to marry a girl like that? Nick, have some backbone. Sandy's eyes were red, and her outfits and demeanor clashed with everything here. Sandy, my biggest backbone is walking away from you. Idiot. Nick, what happened to your mind, your plans, and your persistence? You've become so stupid. Come back with me. I pulled away just as Lillian heard and came out. I stood between the two. I haven't changed, you became the achiever. Your mind opens up, and talking about million-dollar deals is second nature. Someone like you is naturally drawn to excellence. Ken and I never crossed the line. I smiled, so you knew what I cared about all along. Even without Ken, there'll always be bright, shining men in your life, but that won't be me. And you care, too, or this proposal wouldn't have waited 7 years. My parents are getting old, and I don't want any more drama. Sandy gritted her teeth. I'll make you as good as them. Living such a shabby life with her? Haven't you had enough? Come back with me, and I'll give you 10 million as a betrothal gift. I'll get you the best teachers for grooming and etiquette. No one will ever dare say anything about you again. From the moment she said that, it proved she looked down on me. Sandy will never understand I'm not after all that. What I want is respect. I'll come to pick you for your wedding tomorrow. Think carefully about who you're marrying. Sandy patted my shoulder, gave me a deep look, and walked away. Nick, I turned, and Lillian was looking at me, bittersweet. I patted her arm. Let's just package the candies. Okay. My parents came out, seeing the candies on the floor, rushing to pick them up. My mom even picked up a few smashed ones and ate them. Mom, it's fine, not dirty. Don't waste them. Mom looked up and smiled at me, visibly happy. I didn't take Sandy's words to heart. Never expected she'd dare interrupt my wedding. Oh my, how come there are 2 bridal convoys outside? I reached the door and saw that luxurious convoy, realizing Sandy meant business about yesterday's words. To think I'd see so many fancy cars in one day. My God, is this some rich lady's wedding? What a lucky guy. Everyone's eyes were on the convoy on the right. Only Lillian and I weren't smiling. We didn't have that kind of money, nor did we want to spend excessively on fancy cars. It was supposed to be a simple wedding, and compared to that, our side didn't look appealing. Even our washed cars seemed dirty. Sandy stepped out of the car, holding a bouquet. Lillian and I were ready to get into our car. Sandy's hand stopped us at the door. After being together for 7 years, are you really ready to give up? That one sentence left me frozen on the spot. The eyes around me felt like they would burn a hole through me. Oh, isn't that Sandy, the girl who used to roam the streets? Sure is. Now she's a big shot, and what's Nick up to? With someone like that, he'd never have to worry about anything again. How could Lillian compare? He's not planning to marry Lillian, he's got such a golden opportunity. Why would he give that up? Just watch, he's gonna run off any minute now. The whispers around were like buzzing flies. I could clearly feel Lillian's unease. I made myself clear yesterday. The smile on Sandy's lips vanished. Her eyes showed patience wearing thin. Either you come with me willingly, or I take you forcefully. What's your choice? As she spoke, the car door behind her opened. Sandy, that's enough. I'm getting in the car. Sandy raised her hand, and the bodyguards stepped out, their batons tapping away on the car. Perfectly good car, and window after window was shattered. The spectators clutched their ears and screamed as they scattered. The whole fleet of cars was wrecked, and their tires deflated. I closed the door, accepting my fate. Sandy's patience had run out. She clicked her tongue and coldly ordered, "Get in the car." Lillian! Lillian! Lillian's friends rushed out, blocking our path. My mom also chimed in, "Son, it's time. Lillian, let's go." I didn't hesitate. As we passed by Sandy, she didn't stop us. You'd rather marry a nobody than come with me. Yes. Sandy took a deep breath and kicked her own car. Lillian and I arrived at the restaurant. It wasn't big town weddings were often here. Even though the dowry was modest, I'll make it up to you. My dad set us up with a small shop, so we'll have something going for us. Sure. Inside, both sets of parents waited for us to greet them and serve tea. In the corner of my vision, I saw a figure. I avoided looking that way. Though our ceremony was small, it had everything we needed. As people ate, the place buzzed with chaos. I finally got some time to talk to her alone. This small place might not be fitting for you. There was just one small table up on the roof. I didn't say anything wrong, she only lasted a couple of minutes. She shifted in her seat, uncomfortable. Lillian had come up with me. She smoked by the door. All these years, the wedding I owed you, I've given it. If you won't marry me, I can't do anything about it. So what's the rest? A breakup fee? 10 million. It was meant for our wedding, but since you won't marry me, think of it as a breakup fee. Marry me? Wasn't that designer working on a wedding for you and Ken? Sandy laughed softly, a bit surprised and resigned. Is that what you think? She took a deep breath, wiping her face. They say after 7 years, people itch for change. I really am sick of you, but letting go is just not something I can do. Watching you marry is driving me insane. Sandy's eyes started to redden, a mist forming. Tears were pooling at the edges. Success looks different, you seem cool as can be. Every second I'm here, I'm holding back an eruption of emotion. Don't you trust me? Sandy's eyes suddenly cooled. Nick, you want to see me lose it? I leaned back, trying to put distance between us. I probably can't stay in this city any longer. Sandy looked at Lillian. You want to do business? I left 10 of the best storefronts for you. No thanks. Sandy stood, calmly stepping in front of Lillian. Not charity, just making up for what I owe you all these years. Make it count, don't let me down. With that, Sandy left. We grew up together, always hanging around. Always said if one of us succeeds, we wouldn't forget the others. Even if Sandy had given nothing to these friends, they wouldn't have complained. They were genuinely happy for her. Her unexpected promise fulfillment left everyone stunned. On the second day with Sandy, Lillian downed a bottle of booze. Gathered the guts to confess to me. Sandy patted her head, you're drunk. I'm not. Her friends whispered, holding Lillian close. Don't you know Lillian's with Nick? When did that happen? Just last night, you know? Lillian scratched her head, claiming she was drunk. Whenever it came up, she said she forgot. No one thought I'd end up marrying Lillian. Sandy said an assistant would come. So the next night, Ken showed up. Nick, congrats on the marriage. Thanks. Sandy sent me to handle the transfer contracts. Who should I sign with? Her friends exchanged glances, struggling to hide their grins. Lillian, you do it. Starting today, I'll stick around for 3 days, taking you guys to check out the places and connect you with your work. After that, a dedicated assistant will help you out. Ken laid out many contracts, project plans. Even someone clueless like me could understand most of it. Ken really is exceptional. All right, since the contracts are done, I'll check with Sandy. Tomorrow I'll take you all on a tour. If there's nothing else, I'll take off. Best wishes for success in business and everything else you do. Ken said goodbye and left. Lillian and I went out to see him off. Ken thought of something and rolled down the window. Sandy is leaving. Where to? Sandy just wanted me to say goodbye to both of you. Didn't say anything else. Thanks. Lillian and I went back. Everyone's been busy these days. Even I've been caught up in the hustle, with hardly any time left. I heard about Sandy from the TV. The news showed the S Group building empty. The reporter was on site saying the relocation plan had started. Sandy said he wanted to say goodbye to the city. The exact reasons would be covered in future reports. Sandy took the whole team and left the city for good. No one knows where they went. I lay back in the armchair at the flower shop. Lillian came too. She always likes to come quietly by my side. Even if she doesn't say a word, she's used to sitting next to me. What's for dinner? Braised pork. Maybe we can invite your parents over? All right, I'll get the groceries and make it for you. No matter how busy she is, Lillian always comes home every night. 2 meals a day are a must. Life is slow and orderly. In the alleyways by the street, you always hear some kids making noise. Sometimes I go out to confront them. Without realizing, when Lillian came back, I had become the big brother of the neighborhood. If you keep this up, Nick's reputation might last another 7 years. So what? Oh, earlier I knocked over old Michael's wonton table during a fight. Didn't have my phone on me. Remember to compensate him when you get the groceries tonight. Lillian smiled as she washed the pot. Sure. So what does the king want for dinner? Pig trotters, 5 of them. Got it. Lillian's assistant, Harry, just arrived at the door. Boss, there's a contract you need to handle quickly. Leave it on the coffee table. Can't do it quickly. Gotta get Nick his pig trotters. I chuckled, munching on a peach. Life's calmness makes everything feel just right. Hope everything goes with the flow, taking things as they come with ease.